And so the prophet Zephaniah speaks on behalf of the Lord. Seek the Lord, all you humble of the land. So if you ask yourself, says, what is the greatest of all the Beatitudes? Which one, kind of sums them all up? Some would say mercy. Be merciful. Be kind to the gift of each other and be merciful so that you can share mercy. But I think it's always the first one, the poor in spirit. And we're not talking earthly kind of things. These are all heavenly rewards. The happiness God desires for us is for us to be with Him in heaven. And then we need to stop and consider, how do I get to heaven? What do I have to do? Not like a minimalist. Too many of us, and me too sometimes, are minimalists. What's the least I have to do to get into heaven? What's the least I have to do to please mom and dad? What will help me to get away with all the work? What's the minimal I have to do? As Christians, shame, 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 shame on us if that's our attitude. As Christians, we should be saying to the Lord, how much can I give to the Lord? How much more can I give to the Lord? How much more can I please the Lord? How much joy can I give God? Our real happiness is when we trust in Him completely. Because He wants to pour it out on us, but He isn't going to pour it out on us if we got an arrogant and prideful heart saying, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. I want this and I want that. The Lord desires to give us when we are grateful, when we know that we are empty in our hearts, that we have nothing. If we realize deeply that the world has nothing to give us to bring us real happiness, only God can do that. That's when we found the secret, and that's when we trust the Lord. And when we ask Him, typically it's not about us, it's about the gift of others. And then if we're asking for ourselves, it's because we are desperately in need of His love. The poor in spirit know themselves so deeply. Those who are poor in spirit know that they are not God. It is not their place to demand and ask and tell God what to do. Somebody poor in spirit not only knows their own heart, but knows the hearts of everyone else. Knows when somebody really needs mercy. When you'd rather give them a boot in the bottom. When you'd rather give them a smack or send them off and saying, forget you. A person who is truly poor in spirit also knows, it says, what it is to be broken, what it is to be hurting, what it is to need mercy. Somebody who is poor in spirit pours that out generously on the others because we know how desperately we need it ourselves. Someone who is poor in spirit also knows deeply their sin. In the mourning of the second beatitude, blessed are those who mourn, are those who are repenting of their sin. Sad because they have chosen death over life. A poor in spirit individual identifies deeply with those who are sinners, and it runs out quickly to help them and build them up and comfort them. The meek, to be small, a poor in spirit person chooses to be last, little, instead of pumping themselves up with all their greatness. Poor in spirit rejoices in the fact that others are getting acclaim and they get nothing. Most of us like to have the pat in the back, the attention. You know, how many times it says, well, at least a thank you would be nice. Well, without the thank you, the Lord is thanking you. Are we happy enough with that? A real meek person is happy for nothing, happy to have nothing. And on it goes. The pure in heart. When you know the Lord and you know his love, you don't look for any other love, because the Lord satisfies the depth of your mind and your heart and your will, satisfies the longing of the eyes and the body. A pure person, pure in spirit, longs only for God. Can we say we are pure in spirit? We'd have to say, boy, I'm really far away from that. And boy, well, I need that grace. I think to sum it up, and I've said it so many times to you, how do we gain this wonderful gift to be poor in spirit? My sense is it is gratitude. Moms and dads, teach your children to be grateful. Firstly, by being grateful yourself. Gratitude also means that you speak it out when you see a good in your spouse or your children. You let them know, I rejoice so much because you are so good. It makes them want to be good. If all they hear is discipline and you're not good enough, then I remember my sister who said, well, if that's the way I am, I might as well be that. And you had to encourage her out of that mindset. Too many people hear only the negative about themselves, and they just give up on trying to be good. The poor in spirit sums up all the Beatitudes. But it's not easy, because to be poor in spirit, to be really happy in the Lord, means to be like Jesus, to imitate him. When the Lord says all of these, he's saying, I live this for you. It would be wrong for me to say, be happy in your suffering, if the other person who's saying it never suffers. Well, it's easy for you to say, because you got it all so happy, so wonderful. Or if you're mourning and grieving over so many sad things, well, you should be happy. Jesus lives out all of these Beatitudes, and then he says, now imitate me. To live out the Beatitudes is to be like Jesus. And that's what we're really all about.